Emily Finney and I'm a real estate agent. My office is based in Oak Hill, Ontario, but I'm a real estate agent in Ontario. And I thought I'd just make a quick little video. I just wanted to go over some tips and then some information on getting a real estate license in Ontario. I recently got my license when I'm 25 now. I was 24 years old when I got my license, so I've had my real estate license for 1 year, and I thought I would just make like an informational video on how to get your real estate license in Ontario, what the process is like, and then a few tips that I would suggest for someone who's getting their real estate license. So the first thing I would say when you're looking to get your real estate license is just to do a little bit of research. So for example, I would look into the cost to get your real estate license to make sure you have enough of the funds to pay for the course and to pay for all the registration fees. I would make sure that it's something that you're fully committed in doing. People think that selling real estate is an easy task, but it takes a lot of your time and a lot of your commitment to be able to grow your business. So make sure that you have that commitment and that drive to want to grow your business. So those are two things I would say before you do anything. Just make sure that you have the drive, the commitment, as well as the money necessary to do your real estate course and to do all the licensing. Once you've decided that that is a path you want to go down, you'll go over to Humber's website, so Humber Real Estate Program, and apply for the course. Once you go to Humber's website, you are going to apply to be part of the real estate program. The application fee is about $75 to apply, and you'll need to make sure that you're above 18 years of age, that you're Canadian resident, and also that you have a high school diploma or equivalent level of education. And so once you do that, you're going to apply. You'll usually get an email within a few days if you've been accepted into the real estate course, or you'll get an email from Humber saying you either were accepted or not accepted. So once you're accepted, you're going to start so pre-registration is before you get your real estate license, and you'll be doing 5 courses, 4 exams, and 2 simulations. So you're going to have 4 courses that will have an exam tied to them, and then you'll have your simulation, your 2 simulations, and then your last course doesn't have an exam. So the courses are an e-learning type of course. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go on to Humber's website, you'll register yourself for the first course, and it's pay as you go. So you're going to pay for the first course, you're going to take your first course, and then you're going to, once you finish that and then pass the exam, then you'll pay for your second course. So right now it's sitting at approximately $4,100 to do your pre-registration courses. Now obviously that changes each year, and so you'll do your first course and you'll take your exam. If you don't pass your exam, you'll have to pay a fee if you don't pass your exam. If you do take your first course and you pass your exam, then you're on to your second course. Now, something that I found to be really helpful when I was taking my exam, so I'd read through all the course material, I'd take a few notes here and there, but then I'd go over to passit.com. And when you go on to Passit, there's thousands of questions that are similar to the real estate questions you'll get on your exam. And so what I would do is just repeat these questions. If I got it wrong, I'd read information as to why I got it wrong. I'd go back to the chapter, read over the chapter, and I felt this was the best tool to help me to be very successful on my exams. So I would use Passit, and I felt this was a very helpful tool for me to pass them with a high grade. And I really do think that this is something that you should invest in. I can't remember the price on each one, but you have course 1, you'll take a Passit for course 1, and then course 2, course 3, course 4. I found it to be very helpful. I do not think that's a waste of money, and I do suggest if you are going to get your real estate license to do Passit, because it will help you for the exam. Especially if you failed your first exam, I would definitely get Passit for the retake exam. Now you have 2 years to complete the whole real estate pre-registration course. And a lot of people kind of wait up until the last minute because they have so much time. However, I would suggest to get it done as quickly as you can. There are time limits for each course, so you do not have from when you start course 1, you have I think 2 months or 4 months. I can't remember the exact time limit, but you do have a time limit to complete each course. So just be wary of that when you sign up for your course, that you have a specific time that you need to complete that course by. But the whole program you have 2 years to complete. Let me just talk quickly about the simulation. So the simulations, you have a few options. So you can do them over the course of the week, or you can do it on the weekend. Obviously the weekend, it's a full day where you are with real estate agents that are your instructors, and they're going through real life scenarios. So a lot of people, when they were doing their real estate course, they would pass their exams, but they didn't feel like they had that real life experience. So the simulations are there to give you that real life experience. And I would suggest, if you have a lot of questions or you don't understand the material, to ask it in the simulations, because you get to ask a licensed real estate agent questions that will pertain to when you get your license. And so they'll go through a lot of the forms. So agreement, purchase and sale, and you'll have to be able to explain that. Listing agreement, working with a realtor, buyer representation agreement, all that type of stuff will be covered in this simulation. So those are important courses to take. And those weren't always there, but they've now been added when you take your real estate course with Humber. So once you pass your entire pre-registration phase, then you have 1 year to be registered with a brokerage. So when you're going to apply for your registration with RICO, you're going to need to have your course completed with Humber, your pre-registration course completed with Humber, as well as you'll have to do a police check. So now this is something that you can either go to a local police station, or there's a website called Commissioners, and you can get your credit check done, your police check done online, and then you can submit it to RICO. You're gonna have to get your registration with RICO once you're signed with your brokerage, and they'll sign the paperwork and work through the paperwork with you. You're going to need to get your RICO's insurance, and then your board registration. So there are a few other fees that you're gonna take into account once you've completed your pre-registration. So just be mindful that there are gonna be other fees once you've completed your courses with Humber. So you're gonna now need to choose, before you register with RICO, obviously, you'll need to go and choose your brokerage. So here are some tips that I would suggest that you should be considerate of when you're choosing a brokerage. So one, you should see a brokerage that you feel has adequate training. Depending on if you have any real estate experience or not, you're gonna wanna choose a brokerage that has the training provided to you to help you be a successful real estate agent. I would suggest getting a mentor, so that may be your broker of record, it may be another realtor in your office, just someone that you can go to, and they'll help you to kind of navigate the real estate world, maybe sit in a few transactions with them so you're able to kind of dip your feet into the water. Because if you've never been a licensed real estate agent, going from the course to real life can be kind of a little bit of, let's say, a shock, for lack of better words. And so when you're sitting with a real estate agent that has years of experience, they'll help to kind of mitigate that shock. So that's what I would suggest to do. You're gonna also need to look at things like commission split within the brokerage and be mindful of that. And then if there's already monthly fees. So some brokerages will have monthly desk fees and things like that, so make sure you have the funds to cover that as well. So you're gonna need to make sure that you have enough money up front to pay for all of these things, because even if you get let's say you get a listing in your first month of being a real estate agent, you do not get paid when the deal sells, you get paid when the deal closes. So if the deal, you get your first listing and you get it up within the first month of being an agent, and you sell it within that first month, but the deal closes 4 months from now, you're not going to get your commission check for 4 months. So just make sure that you have enough money saved up so you won't be tight on your expenses during your first little bit of being a real estate agent. Real estate agent and you have your license, I would suggest sitting down, and it depends. So if you're already signed to a team, then a lot of these things will be done for you, and you'll have team commission structures as well. However, you're gonna need to look at your marketing and make sure that you have marketing for yourself and for the property, that you have a specific brand. Again, if you're with a team, a lot of this is done for you. And then prospecting. So this is the number one thing that a lot of agents find is the hardest part in the business, is to go out and make sure that you're getting leads each day. So leads lead to listings or buyers and sales, and leads to commission. So you need to make sure that you can adequately bring in enough leads to support your business. So things like door knocking, some people do cold calling, networking events, and referrals. So making sure that you have great customer service to any clients that you serve, so they refer you to any one of their friends, family, etc. So those are kind of some tips that I would say, making sure that you have down pat when you become a real estate agent. Another thing I would say is that a lot of times you'll see on specific days of the week for specific areas, you'll have broker or agent open houses. And so these are great ways for you to go in and view the inventory in the area. So you're aware of, okay, so when you go on a listing appointment in the area, you went into that house, you can talk about it, you can see, okay, you know, I was in that house and it sold low because maybe it was a smoker's house or whatever it might be. So that's a great way for you to know the inventory and also just to get your name out there. So making sure that you write down what days the broker open houses are and then going to them. I would suggest that's a really beneficial thing for starting out as well. Then once you're selling real estate, you have your real estate license, you need to complete the post-registration phase with Humber. So with Humber, the post-registration phase, you need to complete a mandatory course and then you'll have 2 electives to do. And you'll have 2 years to complete your post-registration phase with Humber. So you'll have 1 mandatory course and 2 electives that you need to do once you get your real estate license. It would be beneficial to get these out of the way early on into your real estate career, because if you start getting really busy, you might forget about them and then not do them. So it's really important that you get those done. They're not too bad. They're another set of e-learning. Now, some people like e-learning because you can go at your own pace. Some people don't like it. I personally am not one to do online learning. I prefer in-class, but because I was doing my real estate license during COVID, I didn't have the option to do in-class learning. So I made do with what I have, but I find, you know, it can be quite dry to read on the screen constantly. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me, but some people do really like it. So it's kind of up to you and your learning style. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of what I would say. Tips and some information for getting your real estate license in Ontario. I do think that is a very exciting career choice, and it's something that you're doing something different every day and you're seeing new homes, and I do think that it's a great choice. I just think that before you make the choice, just, you know, do your research just to make sure you have all the information available to you before you make the switch. And then once you do so, I think it's not too bad to do the courses. You just got to put in the work and the time, and Passit, I really do think, is an important tool to help you pass your real estate courses. And if you like this video, like, and don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll be posting some more informational videos as well as some weekly vlogs for a day in the life of a real estate agent.